Hi guys, this is Denis Hagov and our transport store is sale.com, and today for review I have not electric unicycle, but I have also from the electric unicycle manufacturer Bigodi e-bike. So EXTREMEWheel ES, it is a Bigodi, another Bigodi company, like a partnership and so on. So we are working on the two wheels. Like we had the K series, like K6 or so on. So this is like the small scooters, seated scooters, and now we represented the all new EXTREMEWheel ES electric bicycle, like electric motorcycle. So, and I received this one for the testing because we also know that I am not only riding electric unicycles, but I also riding motorcycles and also riding like a hard enduro and so on. So I have experience in this area also, so I can make some type of a comparison, honest review, and share that opinion with you, my thoughts. So I have this one electric bike quite a while, so this is not a fresh one, like I just ride it, a few kilometers and making review. No, I have almost 1 month, so ride more than 100 kilometers in different areas. So hard off-road, real hard off-road, without any roads, deep sands, deep mud, high speed riding on the normal roads and so on. So I tested it in the forest and everywhere I could find, I could test it as much as close like the real hard enduro bikes are tested, not just bicycles. And also in this review we will compare this one EXTREMEWheel ES, will compare with Suron Light BX and compare with Talaria MX5 Pro. Like these two bikes are direct competitors to this one by the price tag and by the specification, and I will try to explain the main difference between this one and Talaria and Suron. So I hope this information also will be helpful for you. So let's start as usually from the beginning, from the design point and ergonomics. So first one, you can see the design of that is not such a best one looking electric bike in the market, and many clients who looking for the electric bikes were looking for the Talarias and Surons, like their design are iconic and really looking much more beautifully compared to this one, just the metal plates here and here. So this is, and also this cutted back of a bike, so makes it looks not so pretty compared to the Suron and compared to the Talaria. This is also can be honestly said, because when I posted the photos to the local forums, so everybody immediately start to say that this one looks really ugly. So this is quite big minus to the EXTREMEWheel ES, but from another side, I don't really matter how it looks, because this one electric motorcycle built for the hard off-road adventures, and usually it looks very dirty and so on. So for me, like a real man, real rider, hard enduro rider, biker and so on. So for me it is not so important how it looks. For me most important how it's performed. And so regarding the performance, I want to make here two very important message to say. Two very important. First one message, but this one, the message will be about the difference between the Suron, Talaria and EXTREMEWheel ES. So first one, EXTREMEWheel ES are using 100 volt system with this maximum charging 100 volt, and the rated voltage of this one is 88 volts. So the Suron Light B are rated 60 volts, so not 88 like here, but 60, and the new one Talaria MX5 Pro are 72 volts system. So this one is mostly high voltage system we can find now on the such price tag in the market. This is very important. So this one gives additional miles, additional power capabilities and so on. Another one also important moment, what compared to the Suron Light BX, this one has 40 ampere hours battery, and the battery we are using in EXTREMEWheel ES are Samsung 50S compared to the Suron with a Panasonic not so high capacity, high discharge rates batteries. So this is also very important moment. So because only Samsung 50S can provide, momentum power to perform, to give that power to the wheel, to the motor, and so on. So here, if we will compare with a Talaria MX5 Pro, so Talaria now in the newest one, MX5 Pro, I started also using 40 ampere hours Samsung 50S batteries for providing. No, we start using that also because we understand that using regular batteries are not possible to provide so high power, high speed, and high torque, and so on. So we are also using, but still Talaria using 72 volts, not 88 like here. So this is the main difference between this one, Talaria, and Suron. So one moment, and another very important moment is the wheel dimensions. So the bigger one wheels gives you more performance on the off-road, better stability, bigger knobs, and so on. So here the difference are that this one bigger size and can provide you best, better performance on off-road, and this is just no questions here, because if we will compare this one EXTREMEWheel ES with real hard enduro bike like I was riding at KTM 450 or 500 AXF models, so we're using the 90 on back and 21 on front, so all this just made to provide as much grip and much bigger knobs for the real mud for providing that performance, going hard off-road, real hard off-road, not just usual forest paths with bicycles and so on. This is not a off-road. Real off-road when you're just going first time ever middle of a forest and so on, and passing such a small lakes and so on, deep sands, and wherever you see you want to pass. So the wheel dimensions are very important here. As I said, this one had compared to the Talaria and Suron bigger one dimension, and I find that this one really big plus. Regarding the ergonomics, we have here the screen, and screen are really not good because it is tinted and you cannot see it at all at the daylight, you can see it only at night, so really bad one screen. We have here the brakes, one front, one brakes, front here, back one brake here. So the brakes the overall discs are bigger compared to the Talaria, compared to the Suron. Have definitely better performance because of a bigger dimension, and also the brakes have 4 with pistons for braking. So here also because this one compared to the Suron and Talaria, most powerful, best, fastest and better reaction and so on, really powerful one. So also need to be equipped with powerful brakes, and these brakes are really better compared to Talaria and so on. You can even see on the photos the difference, how the Talaria's or Suron brakes are looking more like the good bicycle brake, but this one looks more like the motorcycle's brakes. So also big plus. We have here the some type of a key access, so if you not have that key card, so you cannot power it on. We also have here magnets, so you can put it on the hand, so if you are through it from the bike, the bike will immediately stop spinning, and this like a spin kill we saw in the sea transport, like the boats and sea bikes and so on. So we have here also we have turn signals. We have front lamps with a 2 type of orange and white one beam, and we have turn signals in the front and in the back, and also stop signals. So seems like it is almost ready for the public roads, to be used for the public roads, but it cannot be registered or used in the public roads. But still, it is good that it has that, because if you need to to go somewhere, to pass some miles, to go to the forest, I know this is illegal, but anyway anyway, it's better to have, you know, two turn signals and be, you know, more friendly, you know, to another drivers if you're going, you know, on public on your own risk. So okay, what next? What next I want to talk is about the suspension. So suspension here are really good DNM suspension in the front and the back. Of course, it cannot be comparable, you know, with a WP suspension like we are using in KTM bikes, hard enduro and so on, because only two shocks front, you know, cost more than all this bike costs. So this is also need to be clear. But anyway, I was surprised that this suspension are working really great, and even with my 102 kilos weight, I was not, you know, possible to bottoming it so easy, so I was jumping and going really fast, you know, hard off-road, and the suspension just working and not kicking me, you know, like like when the suspension not working normally start to kicking you back and so on, or the front are going deep, so you feel that something are wrong. Here, no. For my big, you know, my big reaction, surprised. I was really surprised that it's working really good on high speed. Maximum speed I was able to ride, you know, on fully charged e-bike with one ES is 87 kilometers per hour. And on such a speed, it's acting like a real bike. So I am now going by the controlling it by the contour steering. So I push, you know, opposite of a corner, and bikes are going, you know, inside that corner. So all these feelings, all this, you know, geometry and so on, really making great, and I feel like I'm riding real motorcycle. Not, you know, an electric bike. So this is also very important difference, because it provides you feeling of riding electric motorcycle, not electric bike. So controllable on speed 90, it's controllable very good, so I can easily ride, and I feel like suspension are working and all going really stable. I was really surprised about that performance. This one can get you, you know, from the box without additional tuning and so on. Another one moment was, as I said, this suspension also working, performing perfectly in the heart of road, jumping and so on. I'm just going straight, you know, on the bike. I'm going, I'm pushing my throttle on the maximum speed. I'm jumping, and I feel like it's working, and working really great. And for the DNM, for such a price from the box, I was really surprised that they so close to you know, provide you, you know, really great working one suspension. So I was really, guys, surprised. So and I'm really heavy. I understand that I'm too heavy and too big for that e-bike. So for the rider who weighed about 70 kilos, you know, and height is about 1.70 m, 65. So this will be much more, you know, better to drive and to ride and so on. So also important one moment. So overall performance for that, so how it accelerates, how it provides power from the zero is more than enough. And, you know, big difference is that this one is electric and provides the power like all electric transport. From the zero, all torque, all power are going to the wheel if you push it. So immediately you can stay it on one wheel, made wheelie and so on. So I was able to ride 37.5 kilos till with 20% of battery left, and returned it home. So I was riding like the crazy, maximum speed in the forest, everywhere maximum. So I believe with my weight in such a, you know, performance that it's provided for me, so maximum distance will be about 45 kilos, maybe 50 till the end. And I really also was surprised that even with a 20% of a battery left, it still was able to ride more than the 80 kilometers per hour. Not so fastly, you know, accelerate like it is accelerate when it's 100% charged, but still are going, you know, high speed, and that was really great. But I was able, you know, to go still over 80 kilometers. This was really nice, you know, to feel that you are not just returning home, you know, like with a scooter to 20 kilometers per hour, you know, and so on. So still able to ride really fast. So Want to speak about the seat. So you can see that seat are really long one, big one, and comfortable. And also, if we will compare it to Talaria and Suron, because they are almost equal here with a design, so they have the smaller one seat. So if we will look to the real hard enduro bikes and cross bikes, you will see that they're using also big one seat, so long one. Why they are using that long one seat? Because when you're riding like real hard enduro biker, like the real professional, so you're playing with your motorcycle. You're not sitting in one position like on the bicycle. You're always working. If you're going uphill and you need power, you need to push the front wheel, not to have a wheelie when you're going real uphill. So you're sitting here in the front and pushing with all your body the front one. And when you're going on the deep sand, and you need just you're pushing all the throttle, you're going on the back, pushing back, and the front wheel are using only like the for the control where you're going. It's like more like the boat, and the back one are just working like the so this is the idea, like what you're using, and your seat position not fixed, in one place. Is when you're riding, so it depends on the situation, but you're using all these dimensions, and I really like that they made the seat long and really made the seat comfortable for using, compared to the Suron. So we're using. And Talaria, we're using smaller one seat, and understand what you cannot use all that, all that bike, and all that purposes. And here, I understand what Suron and Talaria are made like more like electric bicycles, and this is a fact. How they conceptually are, looking for that product. This one more built like electrical hard enduro bike, and the difference here are really clear ones. So this one, if you're looking for the more hard enduro possibilities and more control, this one is better matched as a product. More powerful, bigger battery, bigger voltage, good suspension, ergonomically better build, bigger one wheels, and this one has lower price on the market compared 3 of them. So price tag is 4,000 euros with a delivery in Europe. So compare to a Suron. Suron are expensive, about 400 euros more expensive, but nothing to compare at all here. Talaria MX-5 Pro very close to this one, but 1,300 euro more expensive than this one. So if you're paying more but getting less, because of the name of a brand, because they say, they make a lot of efforts, to provide all this advertising and so on. So, and long time nothing was close here in the market by the direct competitors. So now we have better for the better price. So guys, it is up to you to decide. So I really like that. I really like that product. This one important one moment, and I just for the end I will try to be maximum clear here. So idea is that if you're looking for the bike for your family, maybe for your children, for your boy, who is 14, 15 years old, and you understand that you will not be riding professional with a hard enduro, but you want some type of a bike to go somewhere, just have your pleasure for a few kilometers, to go hard, and also your kid will using it, so like the family one toy to ride and using it around. So here, this one for such a price tag just gives you, all the product can give you, and so close like the real hard enduro bike can give you, really so close here, and with a good price. But if you're, if you're looking for a hard enduro bike like a KTM 450, 300 two-strokes, and or 500 XF and Husqvarna and so on, so real hard enduro bikes with a real dimension, real suspension travel, real big one wheels and so on. So they are better. Anyway, if you are using professionally, they are much way better, and this one will never, be, no, you cannot ride, together. For example, I'm riding with this one, and the group, with the same skills, riders are riding the real one bike. So I will never be able to to ride with them, equally. They will just, left me in the next few 100 meters, and this will be true because of, as I said, because of bigger, dimensions, because of the wheels, travel, suspension. You can ride much more faster, to absorb all this, the bumps and so on. But anyway, as I said, if we are speaking about the hard enduro and compare, this is not comparable. If we are speaking, just to get fun and to get something like the hard enduro, so this one really good one choice if you have no time and you know that you will never do that professionally. So, and I think this is honest, So as I said, for such price tag, nothing, even close on the market for such a price. But what to buy is decide to you. This is my really honest review, guys. Thank you for watching. If you want to order it in Europe, so you can contact our shop, ucsl.com, just write us and you can pre-order it, and we will deliver you directly this one electric bike to your address. Thank you for watching. Denis Hagov. See you guys. Bye bye. Ten nėra pravažiavimo. Geriau nevažiuoju. такой сумки фиг знает. Бывает и сункёв. Бывает и сункёв. Провожаем Москаль Рожес. Так, а куда ехать-то? Тропинка, наверное. Но мне надо в любого двора, нам надо туда. Куда это там, куда надо? Идет.